Hi, welcome to Restorative Yoga. I'm Allison, and I'm so happy to have you here. This is just a brief introductory video, and I wanted to just walk you through some of the props that you're going to need. And then we're going to close out with a nice breath practice. But I want to walk you through some of the steps that I typically utilize in breath. And maybe this is the first time that you've ever done restorative yoga, or you've ever done yoga, or this is your first time practicing with me. So I just wanted to give you a baseline experience with the breath so that as you move through other practices with me, you'll be able to really move into that breath practice easily. So first, let's just talk about the props just briefly. This is what restorative yoga is. It's about restoring your body, mind, and spirit. Typically, it's done at the end of the day. That's my intention, is to create really brief practices for you, 10 minutes, maybe 12 or 15 on occasion, that you can really drop in to your lifestyle and just completely downshift at the end of a work day. This could become a yoga practice that you do before you enjoy your evening. You can't take in an hour-long practice, or maybe you don't have a yoga studio. I want to make this accessible part of your lifestyle. And sometimes body movement is a really great way to experience meditation. So we'll be starting with a little bit of movement, but then we'll always move into one pose to be able to just get a little bit of stretching, a little bit of ease, releasing tension, and then have a brief closing meditation, and you'll be done. So the key is to really find relaxation in your poses. And so we will be using a lot of pillows. So ideally, you've got something to sit on, either a bolster, a yoga bolster, which you may want to invest in, or if you have one, great. As you can see, you don't necessarily need a mat. I'm on my carpet. You can just grab and go a spot in your home and begin this practice and be done. Sometimes, as I was mentioning before, sometimes this may work really well as that buffer between your workday and your evening. You can drop in and do a 10-minute practice at the end of your workday. On the other hand, I've been hearing a lot of people that are struggling with sleep. And this can become a really great habit before you hit the pillow. That buffer between whatever you are doing in the evening, brush your teeth, do your restorative yoga, and then hit the pillow. It's really preparing the body to downshift from the day and drawing that sensory experience inward, activating the nervous system, and signaling that relaxation response. So that's how my intention of fitting it into your daily routine, or as often as you can. So sitting up on either a rolled up blanket or a bolster, or you may have one of these to sit on, because you want to make sure that your hips are a little bit higher than your hips are a little bit higher than your knees. So you want to be sitting in a way that your pelvis has a little bit of a gentle tilt, and you're sitting upright. We want this upper body to be upright. The spine is always in its divine design, nice and tall, whether you're in a seated position or lying flat on the ground. The spine is always supported in its natural shape. And so with that in mind, when you do lay down, you may want to put this bolster or your rolled up blanket underneath your knees to support your low back when you're lying flat on the ground. A queen size pillow or a king size pillow would also come in handy. A rolled up blanket and a pillow may be a standard two prop practice that I utilize. So having a pillow on hand is going to be helpful. And then throw pillows from the couch are also going to come in handy every now and then. And this can also be utilized instead of a blanket or a bolster. This can also be your seated position. So just thinking about the pillows that you have available to be able to grab and go for a practice. I'll give you a warning before we begin, and then you'll know exactly what you'll need. You can be able to press pause on the recording and then grab what you need. And then having a smaller pillow, maybe a lumbar pillow, is going to come in handy sometimes, similar to a yoga block. If you don't have a yoga block, a smaller pillow or those couch throw pillows are also maybe going to come in handy from time to time for some of our postures. Okay, so let's just settle in and talk about the breath a little bit. Finding a position that's comfortable for you. You're going to hear me cue a belly breath. And why do we call it a belly breath when the lungs are up here? And there's a couple of reasons for that. The first reason is really that a belly breath creates a sensory experience. The point of the breath is really to draw the focus of the mind, to increase that sensory awareness. So when we expand the belly, we're really drawing that breath into the body and creating that connection. We're also drawing in prana with our breath. Prana is life force energy. So that intention of really filling up your body with whatever purpose you're serving that yoga is bringing into your life is sort of that energetic part of the breath, okay? There's a couple of other important reasons biologically that we really want to signal that belly breath and expand ourselves as much as we can. When we deepen our breath and lengthen it, and you hear me cue that belly breath, we're also optimizing that diaphragm so that it's not only helping to maximize the oxygen exchange with the lungs, it's also working with your vagus nerve. This is the largest nerve that runs from the brain to the colon. And when you deepen and lengthen the breath and really work diaphragmatic breathing, you're signaling your nervous system to move into that relaxation response. So you're actually activating biological systems that are going to help you ease tension, release tension, and relax into our postures. Okay? One last thing on the breath. As you're inhaling, drawing that breath in through the nose is going to be helpful because there are certain properties in our sinuses that help vasodilate your blood vessels. So that's also going to help with that oxygen exchange and deliver it to the muscles to help bring more ease. If you can't breathe in through the nose, then just breathe in through the mouth. That is perfectly fine as your secondary option. And then when you're exhaling, we're going to be using a slight constriction to our throat. It's called ujjayi breathing. If you're not familiar with that, you're just creating the sound of the letter H or the sound of the ocean with your throat. And the reason for that is you want to pace your breath. As we're lengthening and deepening that breath, we want to have an even inhale count to the even exhale count. Sometimes we'll change up that count, but generally you want to have an even inhale and exhale. So as you're exhaling, you're able to kind of create that constriction in the throat and slowly release that breath. And you'll be able to get sort of an audible signal as well that creates that awareness and focuses the mind. So let's give it a try and do a few rounds, just taking whatever comfortable position you prefer. If you're sitting upright, find that nice tall spine. If you're lying down, settle in, make any adjustments you need. You might want to prop a pillow or a rolled up blanket underneath your knees just to give your lower back a little bit of a break. And just start noticing the breath as it travels in through the nostrils. Maybe counting to 2 or 3 or 4. And then allow that exhale to draw awareness into the body where you feel tension melt away. As you inhale, drawing in through the nose, feel sort of a magnetic pull to the top of the head, lengthen through the spine. And then as you exhale, just notice the shoulders continue to soften. And let's do a 3-count breath together. So exhaling everything out wherever you're at so that we can all synchronize on our next inhale. As you inhale, expand the belly 1, expand the ribs 2, expand the chest 3. Everything softens 3, 2, 1. Inhale, belly 1, ribs 2, chest 3. Exhale, everything softens 2, 1. Inhale, belly 1, ribs 2, chest 3. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, belly expands 1, ribs expand 2, chest rises 3. Exhale, soften 3, 2, 1. Continuing on your own. Feel the body gradually receive the breath, receive the prana, and feel your body's response to that exhale. Where in the body are you feeling that softening? Beautiful. And just checking in with your mind, noticing any distractions or thoughts that may have come in. Just letting them float away like clouds in the sky. The wisdom of Buddhism teaches us that we are the sky and thoughts will come and go like clouds. Sometimes they're soft and wispy, sometimes they're white and billowy, and sometimes they're stormy. But they always float away sky, the deepest form of you is always there. And we let go of the stories and the narratives. So releasing that counted breath, just let the brain sort of take over. It's going to make sure that you have oxygen. So you're going to find a little bit more of a shallow breath. You're going to find moments of stillness between that inhale and exhale. Maybe you actually create that pause. And feel that suspension. Feel what it feels like to just be for one moment. That is the nature of meditation, living one present moment after the other. Beautiful. So shifting your consciousness back into this space, maybe wiggling the fingers or the toes, and just shifting, open the eyes if you've closed them. Let's all take one deep breath in, really fill up the lungs, keep inhaling, keep inhaling, keep inhaling. Pause at the top, maybe you can sip in a bit more, and then open mouth, exhale, sigh. Just letting everything out. I hope you're finding a little less stress, a little more ease after that breath practice. And I hope to see you again. Thank you so much for practicing with me today, offering you one big virtual hug. I'll see you next time.